Everybody, thanks for coming back for the back nine of the Mid-America Open Masters Edition. We're going to pick right up here at hole 10. 1,000-foot shot. As I've been saying, left and right is always trouble on this course. You want to land as far as you can. You start up on an elevated tee box with some trees within about the first 100 feet that you need to hit. Your secondary shots are going to land about where these gentlemen are at. With all these sporadic trees, your third one in a perfect world is going to land up near the basket. It's a sandy base green, and there is a creek behind it if you decide to go a little bit too long. After 9 holes, Chris Sprague is leading by 1. Jake Bowen 1 back, and Adam and Jeremy are back behind them behind Chris by 4. But great shot by Jake. Overthrows my camera guy by a mile. Chris Sprague, same thing, hitting that gap perfectly, flexing along that right side, and is going to land him right in the middle of the fairway. You cannot really ask for much better than that at all. Adam taking the big lefty flick route, which I had actually never seen before. I'm sure it's a common thing, but even he commented on how he really liked that shot. So if you haven't seen that, there's definitely a route there. If you're local, I'm sure you're going to say, what are you talking about? Everybody takes that shot. Jeremy hitting the gap, but saw that with a little bit too much left angle. It's going to cause him to go over into the tree line over here, right up against the tree. Beautiful second shot there by Adam. Jeremy taking the low hyzer and hitting the tree. Tree-nied again. I said that middle clump of trees isn't super thick, but can definitely get in your way. And Chris dropping down a roller as he drops himself to the ground as well. Gets us up there, a little bit fades out to the right side, but looks like it stays out of trouble, meaning, oh, so that tree helped him from staying out of trouble. That's how you put your body into the shot, Chris. Sidearm flex by Jake. Looks like it's tangled up in some last minute little branches. Jeremy getting knocked down with this last set of trees. After these trees, he should start opening up back towards the basket. Jake taking the wide hyzer route, putting it up right up near the basket. Should be right up on the green. Beautiful shot, Jake. Chris churning that over, but he hits a tree. Gives him a nice kick towards the basket by a couple feet. And definitely that tree saved him. And Adam with the nasty tree kick, kicking him way to the right. See how far right Adam went, but still weeds his way through the trees to put him up underneath the basket. Chris with the big putt and off the left side of the band. Good par save for Jeremy. Jake with the lonely birdie on this hole. It's 3 total birdies on hole 10 throughout the entire round for the MP40. Jake was the only one from this card. Ryan Konovich and Justin McClune were the other 2 within the MP40 division to have gotten it. So as you can see, average is slightly over a par 5, about a 5.5. 1 birdie, 3 pars on this card. Couple, looks like we had a triple, but no quads as through hole 10. Hole 11, par 4, 551 feet. There is a OB line along the right where the creek is at. Really, you're kind of like always, it sounds pretty monotonous. You're throwing as straight as you can or make it land as straight as possible, but really your scramble game is what gets you through these holes. But you land right on this area, and you can see it leaves you this gap right here, which allows for either a forehand left or right shot or a turnover putter shot to get you up near the basket if you're trying to get that birdie 3. Little left side for Jake, but he will have a view from over there. As long as you don't get into the heavy, thick stuff, you should still, you might have a few trees to finagle around, but you will have a look. It's probably a little bit better there than you are if you're far to the right. Now Chris looks like he's pushing a little farther left. Oh, the tree helped him, stopped him from going to that far left. Good tree, good tree. Big shot by Jeremy. Looks like catches a little bit of limbs, but it was the perfect line, perfect route. Yep, just caught those limbs and dropped it. Probably took off about 40 feet of distance, but still good landing spot for him. Looks like Adam turned that turnover a little, rolled his wrist over on that turnover a little bit. I don't think he was trying to dive it down that much. Chris taking the right, coming in a little early, hits a tree, but with a great redirect to put him up right up near the basket. Need to maybe hug those trees there, Chris. Oh, and a nasty kick from Jeremy. We thought for sure he was out of bounds. It turned out he was safe by just a couple feet, which was awesome. But that kick from the initial thought, I think the entire group thought that he was in trouble for that. Good up shot by Adam. You gotta see how close he is to that out of bounds for Jeremy. And Chris with the low face mask, you can see that was nose down right out of his hand. Adam with the great par save, or par putt. And Jake with the band to take the birdie. Chris or Jake did not want it on this hole. Both of them had the opportunity for the birdie there. And it looks like they're probably going to more than likely have to settle for pars. Yeah, 4 fours in this hole, so 4 pars. This hole actually averaged at a perfect par 4 for the group. There were only 4 birdies on it and the entire round and 4 bogeys, so that evened it out. Still everybody's at -2, -2, +2, +2. Hole 12, par 3, 308 foot. This is where the basket is on the mound. You've got about half the distance through this tight gap. If you are on the left side, you are in trouble. If you're on the right side, maybe you can recover, but really you need to thread this line, land up near the basket, and then deal with the slight elevation putt that you're going to have to deal with if you want the 2 or even save the 3. Jake, great drive, hits the gap. Just a little bit of fade off at the left. He will have a putt. Chris pure in that. A little bit of a flex on the right, but it is coming back left. It's going to land right on the right side of that mound, slightly on the back. But he is definitely going to have a putt. It's going to force Jake to have to hit a longer putt to keep up with Chris on this hole. And Adam again puring it straight up, a little bit short. A little bit of fade there at the end, but still well within a putting range. And Jeremy releasing that early and getting the nasty tree kick into the left side of those trees. You see how thick this is right here. And he's trying to get out, and nope. He got up about 20, 30 feet. He's still in the woods. He's just trying to get out. And you can see those vines caught up the disc on his backswing. And here he's just throwing. Just get out of trouble. Throws this roller, but gets forward. Not what he wanted. Off the band for Jeremy. Oh, Adam just putting that a little bit light. Low face mask, drops it, but he hits the par putt. Chris with the 2, putting him up by 1 stroke. He was also the solo birdie on that hole for the entire event. Jake's going to settle for the par there. It's going to be fall 1 stroke to Chris, -3, -2. Adam took his par +2. Jeremy's going to take a triple bogey from getting those trees to move him to +5. No quads. You can see the wide range of birdies to triple on this hole. 1 birdie, 1 triple on this card, 2 pars. Let's go to hole 13. Hole 13, you can see the creek along the left, par 4, 623 feet. You really just want to get up and land onto this flat terrain as far as you can, preferably more to the left. The more right you are, it's going to make it for a tighter left to right shot. You see that sign to the right? There is a mandatory, so you can't go over there. There's this fun little tree. You can try to go over it or under it. There is a creek out of bounds along the left there as well that can get on you very fast. Chris with the low straight shot, a little bit of right fade, but it is going to land right in the middle, right where he wants it. We're getting into the last 5 holes of the round. There's only a 1-stroke differential between first and second place between Chris and this gentleman, Jake Bowen. These drives are crucial not to mess up, and there's some pretty tough shots ahead. Jake with the high flex. Going to land out there pretty close to about where Chris landed. So he's going to match his shot. I said anytime you have to make that cameraman pan, it's a far throw. Adam getting that turned over. There is a fairly little stiff headwind here. I didn't talk about with the first 2 just because it didn't look like it affected them. But it definitely affected Adam there a little bit, and they were mentioning it a little bit off the tee box. Trying to throw kind of the flex turnover as well, and it just dove to the right. Jeremy trying to get that flex, but it doesn't come over enough and goes out of bounds. Said that out of bounds can come quick on that left or right turn. That's right here. But if you can just do it like Chris, that is a thing of beauty, and pure as that line. That anti-turnover, that is a skill that not a lot of people have. I believe that's an MP40 skill, I feel like. You know, and a James Conrad kind of skill. But I feel like in the older days when a lot of people weren't throwing sidearm, a lot of people are learning that turnover flex shot with those putters and mid-ranges. Chris makes his putt. He'll be up by one more, and he is. Beautiful birdie putt, putting Chris up by 2 over Jake. Adam taking the par. Oh no. High left side, kick out. That is going to concede another stroke to Chris. Losing 2 strokes on this hole alone. Starts to make it a little bit tougher to make up on some of these holes. There's a lot of trouble still on these courses. You just never really know what's going to happen. As we've seen even in round 1 and round 2, these strokes can swing pretty fast. But when you're going into the last couple holes of the tournament, 5 holes left, you definitely start to get a little nervous. Hole 14, par 3, 318 foot. This is pretty much a left to right shot. There's not really any out of bounds trouble, but there is some tree trouble off the tee box if you don't hit the line properly. And right there, that looked like that was a good shot, but Chris was a little high, hit the tree. Same thing with Adam, a little bit high, trying to do that sidearm flex. And here Jake's throwing it low, but catching that curved tree. And here we are, the lead card of our MP40 division, and all 4 of them hit the tree off the tee box, just to show how difficult that this hole can be for no farther than it is. But if you can just do that from your secondary shots like Jeremy did, you know, take your 3, walk away. And these are the shots of why they're on the lead card. Great upshot there by Chris. Chris knocking in the par is going to maintain that -4. Jake can stay at -1. Adam at -2, and Jeremy will stay at, or +2, and Jeremy will stay at +6. Star par on this hole. This hole actually averages right at a 3.1 to be exact. There were only 4 2s on this hole for the entire event. Here we are, we're getting ready to go into hole 15. Hole 15 is a par 4, 518 feet. Kind of like the rest of the course. Again, you got to hit this gap off the tee box. But as you get forward, it starts to open up a little bit up into this area. Your secondary shot has to deal with this elevated basket, this elevated hill that slopes very fast, with the basket sitting right up at the top. Chris releasing that a little bit early. Hits the gap, but he is going to go along to the left side. He will have a big tree that he's getting ready to land under that he'll have to contend with. He was talking about how he had to deal with that the day before as well. Good thing is he was successful the first day on it, so he has a plan. And Adam hit the early tree, but dropped him straight into the fairway. Jake hitting the early right tree, kicking him over to the left. He's going to have a little bit of woods to contend with on that second shot. And Jeremy on the right side was a little tight, but kicked him to the left. Luckily, kept him out of trouble, put him into the opening over there. Still going to have to get a little tricky on that second shot. And Adam just bombing it to the base of that hill. There's nothing wrong with that shot at all from where you're at there, Jake. Good shot. And the forehand roller with Jeremy riding the hill. I heard about this the day before, how many people threw the roller, and I was very surprised, but now seeing it twice on this hole. So see Chris rolling up the hill, and oh my no. Halfway up the hill, somehow rolls back down, sliding against the staircasing. Unfortunate. Jake and Adam putting them up there, leaving themselves a little bit short. Definitely puttable, but they're going to have a hair bit of a tester there. Jeremy with the huge incline putt. And bam! Birdie. Birdie 3. He was saying he did it the day before as well. That is a beautiful putt. Look at that. Huge. Great birdie, Jeremy. It's only one of 2 people on the entire round who will get a birdie, and I almost spoiled it there. I had to pause. I apologize about that. But Jake needed to make that putt. I was so excited about Jeremy's putt. I kind of forgot where I was at in my dialogue. Hole 15, a third over par, 1 birdie, 1 bogey, 2 pars. Sprague is up by 4 strokes going into the last 3 holes. Hole 16, par 3, 203 feet. Still not over, people, though. Anything can happen on this course. Beautiful shot from Jeremy. Hits that tree, though. Gets a little bit of a roll away. He's still going to have a putt, but obviously added a few extra feet to his putt that he would rather have not had. Chris with the beautiful flex. Might have gone a hair deep. Yeah. Still well within putting, but Adam forehand flick. Pretty much landing right at the base. Beautiful. And Jake said, "Hey, I will copy you." Jeremy with the back-to-back birdies. Oh, here's what I was talking about. Chris with the short putt missed. He's going to give one back to Jake. Well, assuming Jake makes this. But Jake has to know how important that is. And even then, it's a low right side. He was a little scared, but he does gain that stroke back. Chris knows how important that one was right there. It's 3 strokes with 2 holes to go, but again, these are 2 of the toughest holes on the course. No doubles, triples, or quads. A 52% birdie rate on hole 16. 3 on this card and 1 par. -4, -1, +1, +4. Hole 17 is a par 4, 482-foot shot. Get up over this crest. The shot starts to flex from left to right before it serpentines back to the left. A little bit of gullies there on the left, a little bit of cabbage and stuff along the right, and then as you go deep of the basket, it sits almost like on a peninsula. So if you go left, right at the basket or deep, you are going to have an elevated little terrain to deal with. And Jeremy hits the tree right off the bat, kicks to the right. Not in a bad position, but nobody wants to hit those trees off the tee box. Big sidearm. Looks like that's going to turn into a roller, which it does. Misses everything. And although he is over on the right side, he's actually fairly far down, so it should give him a pretty routine second shot towards the basket. And Chris said, "This is why I'm leading. Let me show you how to pier this gap beautifully." Oh, hits that tree. Probably took another 40, 50 feet off of his disc. And look at this standstill shot, but hits the tree too and kicks him to the left. Jeremy throwing the forehand roller. Doesn't quite come back to the right the way he wanted to, but he'll have a shot towards the basket from there. And look at that. Jake was talking about had a shot, but there's that elevated hill. He went towards the basket, got towards pin high, but it just drops. Luckily, he even hit the tree there to put him at the bottom of the hill. And Adam hitting the line the way he wants to. Even there, Skip's a hair deep for him, but he should have a putt. Chris tossing up, coming up a little bit short. And Jeremy catching a few trees again. Jake needing to hit this putt. Just coming up low, but hits the pole at the right line. And Chris is like, I don't need to mess with that. I will take these 3 strokes going into hole 18. Oh, and right side for Adam. Overall, I don't feel like Adam has played bad either one of the days, but I think Adam thinks he didn't probably play very good. Missed a lot of lines, a lot of little putts. I've known Adam for a long time, watching him play. It's still exciting to see him. All right, going to the last hole, hole 17. Played just under par, 2 birdies, 2 bogeys. Still got a 3-stroke swing here between Jake and Chris as we go into hole 18, the beast of Harmony Bends. Par 5, 853 feet. Hit this gap. OB along the left. It stays and winds all the way to the basket. You need to land on this peninsula. The second shot, you got to decide, are you going all the way over, or are you playing safely to the right? You can see how much trees are to the right. It's not massively thick, but more than thick enough to make you have to be strategic on those shots. Your next shot needs to either get up into this area, or if you're playing aggressive, to land up on the green. That creek we just flew over is also all out of bounds. There's a lot of out of bounds opportunities on this course that can bite you. Chris throwing low, but perfectly right into the middle. A beautiful slow flex shot there for Jake. Look at this line. And it goes just OB. Catches the corner, just skips out of bounds. So close. The fine line between a perfect shot and just a hair out of bounds. AO throwing pretty much right next to about where Chris did. AO not messing around, but plays over the corner of the creek. I thought he actually played up shorter. He was messing around, played a little bit danger, but wound up safe. Chris, though, is not messing with that lead. He is playing way to the right. Stay away, Mr. Out of Bounds. However, Jake's like, I got 3 strokes to catch up. He is playing out of bounds the entire way. And executes that flawlessly. Look at that. Beautiful shot. Jeremy playing that right gap. Hits the tree. But lands right next to Jake also for a beautiful shot. Chris just playing up to the gap just to toss over. He knows he's got some strokes to give. However, Jake is sitting pretty for a birdie right now. Adam going high, hitting the tree. I think he was going for it, but that tree clipped it and knocked it out of bounds. Chris playing the safe just to get over the top. So Chris, unless Chris hits a big putt, he's probably going to take a 6. Jake is going to take the 4 from right there. It's still a lot of pressure for Chris, and you know he knows what the score setup is for this hole as AO puts it up underneath the basket. Yep, and he just tosses underneath the basket. So many little things could happen there still. Or not probably as much anymore, but it could have. Jake knocking in the birdie. Chris with the bogey, but it will take the win by a stroke. Congratulations to your 2020 Mid-America Open Masters Edition champion, Chris Sprague, Team Innova. We finished -3, -2. Adam and Jeremy finishing 71-73. Hope everybody enjoyed watching this. As always, like, share, subscribe, and all of that kind of stuff. And until next time, we'll see you on the course.